You said this was the last bet. You deleted the app. You swore it was over. Then your phone buzzed again. Another ad, another free play, another chance. And meanwhile, it seems like everyone else is doing it too. So why not you? Because nowadays, gambling is more than just a game. It's a cultural obsession. And it's starting to feel like our society's new religion. Every Sunday, living rooms turn into congregations. Friends huddle around the TV, phone in hand, placing bets before kickoff. And it doesn't stop when the game ends. It pings your phone at work, it floods your social feeds, and it sneaks into every ad break. This isn't just an occasional pastime anymore. It's everywhere. It's the air we breathe. And when something is everywhere, it stops feeling like a choice and starts sounding like doctrine. And the loudest commandment is to play responsibly. It sounds harmless, but it doesn't hand you control. It hands them cover. Because when harm happens, who takes the blame? Not the corporations engineering addictive products, not the governments cashing in on billions in losses. No, you do. This isn't just about private choices gone wrong. It's about a public system willing to sacrifice human lives for profit. We live in what sociologist Ulrich Beck called a risk society. Modern life doesn't just create wealth. It mass produces risk and sells it back to us. Stocks, insurance, finance, all of it packages risk and calls it opportunity. And gambling, it's the purest form. A celebration of risk itself dressed up as entertainment. And in a risk society, the danger is always pushed onto you. Win, and it's your skill. Lose, and it's your fault. Ads telling you to gamble responsibly become a facade, privatizing profit and personalizing blame. But here's the deeper truth. Modern life has largely stripped the world of mystery. Bills, metrics, credit scores, deadlines, it's life tabulated. And yet humans don't stop craving awe or transcendent experiences just because modern life drained it away. And gambling, it sells it back to us by the spin. The parlay feels like prophecy. The jackpot feels like a miracle. And for one brief moment, the iron cage cracks open and you feel like a magician, bending fate, conjuring luck, holding power in your hands. But the spell breaks. The miracle melts into debt, shame, despair, and what felt like transcendence was only another system extracting your devotion. And that's why gambling isn't just a bad habit. It's a mirror of a culture that created it. A society that manufactures insecurity, sells false hope, and dares to call it freedom. The same system that keeps wages flat while costs explode tells you the problem is your budgeting. The same government that rakes in billions from gambling taxes tells you to set limits. The same corporations that design addiction into their products blame you for not having enough willpower to resist. We don't worship gods anymore. We worship odds. And in that devotion, we don't just lose our money, we lose ourselves. If this sounds like you, if your phone runs your nights, this is not a character flaw. It's a design. And here's the truth you need to hear. If gambling addiction isn't only a private failure but a public issue, then the responsibility for change isn't yours alone. We can and must push back. Imagine watching a game without a single betting promotion. Imagine opening an app and knowing it will stop you before you lose your paycheck. Imagine a slot machine that didn't constantly trick you into thinking you almost won. This isn't a fantasy, it's regulation. And other countries are already doing it. Several European nations have already banned betting sponsorships in sports. They show us that it can be done, and that we don't have to accept the status quo. Because the deepest contradiction lies in revenue. States regulate gambling, but they also depend on it. Governments outsource risk to individuals while harvesting losses as public income. Hospitals, schools, social programs, funded in part by losses. This is the moral absurdity. The path forward means breaking this dependence, diversifying tax bases, ending the lie that public good must be funded by private ruin. But policy alone won't save us, because addiction isn't just in the products, it's in our rituals. Gambling has become a ritual. It gives belonging, camaraderie, and even identity. And if that's true, the answer isn't only regulation. We need new rituals, rituals of solidarity, of creativity, of collective care. And this is already happening. Peer-led recovery groups, grassroots campaigns against predatory ads, digital communities of resistance. They're stitching together counter rituals. If you feel the pull toward gambling, pick up the phone, go for a walk, join one of these groups. Because that's how new rituals begin. Gambling is not just an individual weakness, it's a mirror of our culture. And once we recognize that reflection, we can choose differently. We can reject the illusion that individual responsibility is the only way forward. Instead, we can also demand collective responsibility. We can refuse to sacrifice human beings at the altar of profit and declare once again that human dignity is sacred.